Pattern 83 review. So this is the Pattern 83 chest rig from the Kommando store. This is the reproduction version, not the originals from South Africa in the 1980s. I briefly want to go over some of its features and the modifications I've done to it since I bought it about a year ago, and show you the max amount of ammunition you can fit in here, the typical loadout I like to use, and just some other random things that you can put in here and that does fit. So first off, this rig is 23 inches wide by 10 inches tall. For you bigger guys or you smaller framed guys, it may or may not fit you. I'm right at 6 foot. I'm 240 pounds. I am pretty average sized and it fits me decently well. On the front here you have your 6 magazine pouches, a kind of larger utility pouch, a smaller grenade pouch or utility pouch, and this small compass pouch. On the back you have a map pouch that is about 8 3/4 by 9 3/4 tall. It has got these 2 Velcro tabs to help keep it closed, and as you can see right there on the camera, maybe if I line it up, it is made by the Kommando store in the United States. I don't know who they contracted out to make this, but they did a really great job. I haven't had any stitching come undone or fail. I haven't had any rips or tears. The material is very lightweight but very heavy duty. I do not have an original to compare it to, but I have had some other cheaper chest rigs or some other ones that I've bought, and the material of this chest rig is just phenomenal. I've tried replacing it with other stuff and I can't. I love this thing. The guys at the Kommando store did a great job at doing reproductions, and I'm sure it's probably even better than the originals. If you're really going to get one, I would go with reproduction just because it is more affordable and you don't have to worry about ruining an original, because I know a lot of people like to collect things like that and it'd be a shame to ruin a piece of history. I think these are just perfectly capable of living up to the standards of the originals and just being beat to hell, because I do it all the time. I've drug it through the mud, crawled on rocks, thrown it around, trained in the rain, trained in the sun, trained in the snow, and it's held up. Even the additional siding I put on here, the stitches haven't failed and the material hasn't failed, and that's just leather. I did add these 2 additional rolls of moly just because I was trying to figure out how I wanted it when I first started, and I didn't really care about adding to it because I wasn't going to sell it or trade it for something else, and I wasn't too worried about devaluing it. I think when I originally bought this, it was about the same time when Grantham came out with his recce rig, and I was debating on which one I wanted. I believe it was $160. Whether the price has changed or not, I don't know. On these magazine cells, they are 3 inches by 1 inch across. You can fit a variety of different types of magazines in there. I've been running my AK mags in here and it's worked great. You do have the Velcro on the inside on all the pouches here for the pull tabs. I forgot to grab them. I don't have them outside here with me, but they Velcro in. You pull to get your kind of shorter mags out. They come out on top, you pull them out, and you're ready to go to work. I haven't had any issues really getting magazines in and out. They re-index really nicely. I mean, you have tons of room in these pockets to fit whatever size magazine you want here, anywhere from ARs to AKs to your battle rifle magazines. So real quick, I just want to show you the max amount of ammunition I've found you can fit in this thing if you don't want to run anything else or you haven't made the modifications on the sides like I have, just the base rig. You can fit 6 30-round magazines in these 6 front pockets right here. Just fine. They close and you have plenty of Velcro room in this smaller pocket right here. Scoot it down to see, make sure you guys can see it. You can fit 2 10-round magazines. These are all Magpul magazines, and they a little bit fatter than your typical AK mag. But these do fit nicely right there. You get plenty of Velcro right there too, and I have found that in this one, got some gauze left over, you can fit 2 20-round magazines. I don't have a second 21 or 20-round magazine. You can fit 2 in there. Hell, you could run it like that if you really wanted to. But I am fairly certain you can get it to close if you had 2 in there, because you still have plenty of space. I think if my math's right, that comes out to a total of 240 rounds that you can fit in here. I was hoping that you could fit a small box of Wolf in there, but it is just a little bit too small. So you almost have an extra 20 rounds in that little box if that pouch was a little bit bigger. But looking at it online, you know, all these pouches seem a lot bigger than they are. But going on to typically how I like to load it out, I really only run 3 magazines, and I usually run them on the top pouches just because it keeps this nice and slim for going prone, and you don't have all that heavy chest weight that, you know, rides on your shoulders and kind of hurts. This is an X harness. I'm sure if you're watching this video you already know that. I sometimes keep these 10-round mags in here if I'm not running a radio or if I don't have it in this pocket, but typically I run a radio in here. I have a small Kenwood that fits great in this pocket. I don't have it with me right now just because I didn't bring it out here with me today, but it does fit nicely in that pocket, and I have plenty of room to stuff the extra mic cable in there, and I'll have it run up through this right here, across into here, up onto the strap, and then I hook it onto this little piece of leather right here and I push to talk. A lot of the times I will run medical in here, or kind of a simple IFAK. I got this little rolled gauze package right here, a little cat tourniquet, and I have some gloves and medical tape just to toss in there, and you have plenty of room to close it. You can fit shears in there, but I don't really like the way they fit in there with all that stuff in there, so I typically run these in my map pouch. But I have started using a belt kit in addition with this, and I like to keep all my medical supplies in one place, so I've stopped keeping my medical supplies in there, and I just put additional multi-tools, lights, batteries, and extra accessories in there. I do sometimes keep the pair of binoculars that you see in the last video in here, because they do fit nicely. There is extra room that I can put my carabiner, range cards, notebooks, another compass, whatever I really wanted to fit in there. There is plenty of space left over. I could probably fit 2 of these in there. I have found that you can fit a bottle of Sailor Jerry's in this pocket if you like to carry such things. And I have also found you can fit a pack of ciggies in this pocket right here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? You can get them right in there. It's not the best Velcro down, but I'm not too worried about losing cigarettes. So that kind of goes over what you can fit in there and the max amount of ammo. I added these additional straps to add extra molly pouches when I first bought this, because I was thinking I wanted to build it out and have all these big pouches on the side. And I've done other modifications and built all these other things that go onto straps and give you extra rows of MOLLE, and I ended up not really liking it. It was uncomfortable and got in the way of other stuff. I used to keep a small grenade pouch right here to keep my binoculars in while I had my radio right here, but since, again, I started running that belt, I've kind of moved all that stuff. I used to keep bottled waters in here and all sorts of random things I thought I wanted or needed, and really, this rig isn't that kind of rig to have every single thing you want on here. It's going to hold your magazines, it can hold medical, it can hold, you know, your radio or extra tools, and that's about it. But that's really all you need it to do. Going into why I like to really only run 3 or 4 on here, in my unprofessional opinion, I think anywhere from 4 to 8 magazines on your person, including what's in the gun, is just fine. I think any less than that, you're really lacking in capabilities, and any more than that, you're kind of getting to be too heavy to really be able to move and act quickly. And I know there's going to be a lot of guys on YouTube who disagree with me and have a different opinion, and that's fine. Like I said, this is my unprofessional opinion. But for me, having carried 6 and stuffing extra magazines in here and trying to carry extra magazines on my belt and in my bag and have the most ammunition possible, like everybody says, it's just too heavy. And it's unpractical. Not that I'm too weak or not strong enough to carry it, but along with all the other stuff you might want to carry and trying to be as lightweight as possible, it doesn't make sense. And I think if you have anywhere from 4 to 8, you're good, you're solid. I wouldn't worry about it. And this is coming from a kind of a Minuteman perspective or a quick response perspective, kind of protecting the community, responding to some kind of emergency where you might want a rifle or whatever Minecraft fantasy you have. I found 3 works for me. Sometimes I'll run an extra one right here, but I really just like to keep it flat when I go prone, and I like being lightweight and not being bulky and having tons of stuff everywhere, catching on everything and weighing me down. When I'm running through the woods, I want to run as fast as I can. When I'm crawling around on the ground, I want to be as low as I can. And when I'm going through the brush, I don't want to be catching on every single branch and twig that's out there. I'm hoping that this review gave you an idea of how you can run it, or maybe helped you make up your mind whether you want to buy this or not. If you're thinking about getting something like this, or you want to get something like this, but you don't think it's going to quite meet your needs, and you have the extra money to spend, because I know this is kind of already pricey compared to other simpler chest rigs or chest rigs this style, not the kind of modular chest rigs. It's kind of expensive compared to the $20 or $50 or the $100 ones. I think I've already said this, I paid $160 for this. But if you have the extra money, or you're willing to spend the money, it's in your price range or budget. The Pattern 84 from Kommando store is a little bit more updated and does give you a lot more features than this will. I don't have one with me, and I probably won't buy one till they come out with something other than multicam. But essentially, you have the 6 magazine pouches, you have the little pinwheel here, and a multi-tool pouch on this side, and you have 2 of these on each side, and then the 2 rows of MOLLE, but you have 3 strips or lanes, whatever you want to call it. And on the straps, you have kind of the same little MOLLE deals for running your comms and cords through. On the back, you have the same style map pouch, and down here you have Velcro that splits apart for you to add a dangler or a dump pouch, whatever Velcro's on the inside. If you're looking for those kind of features, or you're kind of wanting to run a rig like that, I think the Pattern 84 is probably more suited for you if you're wanting to keep up with kind of more of the trends, or run something that's more new school instead of old school. I know it is more expensive. I think it is around the $200 to the $250 range, if not more. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at the prices recently. I haven't been on the Kommando store. So that's really all I got to say about the Pattern 83. I hope that this video was somewhat entertaining and educational and helped you decide whether you wanted this rig or wanted to go with something else. I know for the AK market there isn't a whole lot that isn't made overseas or in foreign countries to where it's hard to get now due to ongoing conflicts. I know this is kind of an old school rig, but I think it'll work out just fine. I'm planning on doing another chest rig review on another one I've recently bought about a month ago that I bought kind of last second when I think they only had like 18 left. I was debating on whether I wanted to buy it, and I decided to just say fuck it and get it. I'm hoping my rambling didn't go on too long and all this kind of made sense and was somewhat entertaining. I'd like to do at least one video a week on the weekends when I have time. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I figured I'd give this YouTube thing a shot. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've always liked making videos and entertaining people. And I'm a gear junkie and a gun nut. I love talking about this stuff. I love talking about memes, and that's probably how I'll answer most of your comments, is some kind of obscure meme quote that you probably won't get. If you have any questions or comments on the Pattern 83, or you just want to make fun of me because I'm an idiot on the internet, go for it. I have no problems with that. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was somewhat educational or entertaining. What are you still doing here? The video's over. Go watch something else. I got shit to do.